What's happening, YouTube? Today I'm talking about How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And nearly all of y'all will know who Dale Carnegie is, but for the few of you that don't, Dale Carnegie has got to be one of the leading forefounders of human interaction, how to deal with people, how to react to what they produce, how to get them to react to what you produce. Many books over the years have tried to decode the human language, the way humans act, perform, and react to situations. Very few have succeeded, and one of them is Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie actually has a whole series of courses named after him based on people managing and human interaction. Dale Carnegie, I think he passed away quite a while ago. A lot of his previous stories relate to stories that occurred to him back in the 1920s, 1910, 1930s. So in this, he's a fair age now, if he's still about. I'm not sure he is. But this is one of the best books to have on your bookshelf, without a doubt. As you can see, I've read it numerous times, at least once a year. It's been torn, it's been abused, it's been, I think, put in the sea at one point, but it's still managing to cope in there. The beauty with this book is it gives you a summary. So each chapter, he gives a rendition of set points on dealing with people, each with its own complementary stories regarding the situation. The good thing about this book as well is if you're just wanting to have a quick recap at the end of each chapter, it's got a highlight of the main key points to keep in mind. I've got them all there, so it's quick access. You've got fundamentals and techniques in handling people. What else have we got? 6 ways to make people like you. What else is there? Win people to your way of thinking. And lastly, be a leader. Quite an obvious one. Now the beauty in this book is it's not something overcomplicated. It's not some sort of formula you've got to lay out the grounds. A lot of what he actually talks about is common sense. There's a lot of things in here that just over the years somehow we just seem to forget as we go along with life. Maybe it's in business, we try to be sneaky to get ahead. We want to be pushing ourselves and each other to our full limits. But in this book, it reveals certain traits that we just slowly lose over the years or just forget about. Most common of which is the way, if you even just look at how you react to maybe your boss, your friends, your colleagues. A lot in here is how to get what you're looking for without directing the other person straight to it. This is especially good if you're just starting out and you're not seen as a high value to the individual you're trying to get information from. A lot of examples in this book talk about how people manage to create almost a win-win situation. So it doesn't have to be win-lose, lose-lose. It can be win-win. You could get what you want, and you are still adding value to the person you're getting it from. Many examples of people in here doing the exact same thing, and the main difference is they're not direct about what they want. There's one example in here of a bloke wanting business from a really high-ranking CEO. So he goes to see him, and he's been told he only has 2 minutes to say his piece and get out. Now he goes in, and usually 2 minutes, you absolutely just drive it home how good you are, everything you can offer, everything you can provide, how good you are. But this bloke took a different turn. He decided to compliment all the woodwork in the office. The CEO had a very nice big desk, nice fireplace, and they spent almost 2 hours discussing the woodwork. The CEO was very proud of these things, but because of the lack of notice and no one had provided value to them, he had begun to forget about them, that they were there. So it reintroduces enthusiasm, his pride for picking out this fine wood. And at the end of it, the guy won the contract for work with the company, and he didn't even have to mention it until the end of the interview. So a lot of what's in this book is about how you add value to other people rather than just going me, self, is how you can win by helping other people win. And this is what's brought up with a lot of people. You see it in a lot of books between Tony Robbins, a lot of motivational speakers. It's about how you get value from adding value to other people. Now, this can come from anywhere, any situation. A lot of what's in here, it covers the whole human complex. So you can be using it in business, you can be using it in personal life, you can be using it with colleagues, you can be using it with bosses, clients, A, B, C, D. The list can go on forever. Even the stranger in the supermarket, it's useful for. And the great thing about this, because it gives you, although each chapter is given a big paragraph, big explanation, there's a brief list of the key principles at the end of each sort of section unit. And that's more or less a guiding principle to how you should approach every interaction in life, almost like a key step-by-step points. So if you manage to memorize that, get it in your system, you'll get quite far in life. A lot of people in here do proclaim how useful this has been, and as it says here, over 16 million copies sold. This is quite an old book, so there's probably a bit more since then, and there's whole courses out there that you can do on the Dale Carnegie that are influenced by this book. So I mean, you could be going these courses, it could be up to what, 30, 60 quid, absolutely worth going, but for 7 quid you could create your own education on how to get ahead and help with people, because at the end of the day you cannot get anywhere in life without other people. We're just intertwined that way. We're not great at everything. We can't do everything in anything. And if you look at business, you're always serving someone else. Whether you're the contractor who's employed by the consultant, you're the consultant employed by the client, or you're the client who's got this business for their customers. You're always responding to someone else up the chain. And even below the chain, you need to always keep good, even for just networking or people skills, just an all-round circle of how you should approach people in life. Instead of hostility, you should be providing gratitude, because let's face it, you wouldn't like it done to yourself. If someone was high in praise, you would give them more value than someone who's always demanding and taking. You want someone who will give. So out of all the books I recommend, I would say this is number 1 on the list, just because it's insanely insightful. I regularly go back to this once a year just to refresh my memory. And yeah, useful book to help you go out there and get yours. So pick one up.